when I was at one of these church events, there's this middle school kid, and they asked me a question. And it's kind of a funny question because it comes from innocence. But they said to me, Pastor Sky, have you always been good? Now, tell me isn't that like when you hear that from a child, you're like going, huh, have you always been good? And I thought to myself wait a second, am I too good at faking that I am always good? Like what's going, but we all know it's like social media. Going to church is like once or twice a week, and you see these people once or twice for like 2 hours at a time. It's very, very easy only to see a good side. Why? Because you're at church. Why? Because it's like you come to church and you show your good self. Right? Social media is just the same. Social media, you only post the good pictures. However, if you guys look at my social media, like my Instagram, I post some really crazy pictures on there too. Like you see some of the pictures, I put some of the most ridiculous pictures. I'm not sure why I do this. I think I'm a glutton for punishment. Like I like to see myself in terrible positions, but most of the time you see Instagram is like curated to make your life look amazing when it really isn't. So in my head, I kind of felt guilty. I'm like, man, am I really showing that type of person? Like I'm always good. And it reminded me of this verse in Mark chapter 10, verse 18. There's like the religious teachers of the law asked Jesus, good teacher, what must we do? And then Jesus is like, good? Like, why do you call me good? God is the only one who is good, right? And I would say, as being a human being for the last 45 years of my life, I think just from experience, we can all say, if you look closely enough at anyone's life, no one is good. Like no one has lived that good life every single day. Like no one has done it. Like the only one that we can really say is good is God. So even for me, at the beginning, I felt kind of guilty, like, man, like that makes me feel dirty. Like you think I'm good? You don't know my life, kind of thing, right? But in the end, I'm like, no, they're coming purely and innocently, and it made me think about this. This question made me to start thinking about all the bad things that I've done in life. Yeah, in my life, I've been in one fight, just one fight in my life, and it was like 20 on 20. It was crazy. I was playing basketball with a couple of friends, and all of a sudden, like 20 people came in, and it was because of another friend who had a beef with someone else, and then they called their friends, and then our side had another 20 people come in. It was crazy, right? So I'm sitting here in the middle. I totally have nothing to do with this, and it's 20 on 20, but these are my friends. And this just melee it was like this huge, like it's kind of like a movie. It's kind of like, those movies where like one side is looking at each other like this, the other side is like this, and then all of a sudden they're like, you ready to go? And it's like, and then everyone starts fighting and stuff. I was scared out of my mind. I was scared. I'm just a basketball player, right? And I'm just like, what's going on? And then what happened was, like, it's crazier. They started bringing out weapons, pipes, and like bats and stuff. And I was like, what is going on? And thank God I never got hit. Like I never got struck by a pipe or anything else. And my friends are fighting. I'm like, what do I do? Someone grabs another person and then calls out to me and says, kick him. And I'm just like, and I just kick this guy. And when I kicked this person, I broke my foot. So one kick, I was done. My foot was broken. And what was even worse is like when we had to all head to the hospital. And my friend, his car is like a stick shift, but he got hit in the head with a pipe. So he was coming in and out of consciousness. So I had to drive. And I don't even know how to drive stick, but I had to drive all the way to the hospital like that. It was crazy. And that's like the only fight that I've ever been in. Like for me in high school, middle school, I was like the jock, right? The athlete, played all bunch of different sports, captain of these teams and stuff like that too. I even liked sports more than girls. Like I didn't have a girlfriend in high school or middle school or even in university. I was all into sports the entire time. Even in high school, you know what my nickname was? They called me the church boy. Now, why they call me the church boy? Because I went to church every week. I tried my best to be a good person. And one of the things that people knew me for is I don't swear. I don't cuss at all, right? They're like, oh, here's the church boy. But people respected me for it. And actually, this one time, for about 2 months in my life in high school, I started swearing. I don't know why. It was this rebel stage because I'm the rebel pastor, right? So this rebel stage, and like I started cussing and stuff. One of my friends actually slapped me in the face and he says, hey, don't do that. And the reasoning he gave me is he's like, you're this church guy and you become kind of like a symbol of what we should be like. But if you turn to this side, then we don't have that thing holding us back. And my friend told me, no, you have to be good. And it kind of shook me back into where I should have been. And I stopped swearing. So there was a time I did swear in high school for like 2 months straight. F-bombs, S-bombs, B-bombs. I did everything. And, if I were to be very honest, I wasn't even very comfortable with that either. Actually, you know what? There is something I did really bad once. Like really bad. Bad. And, yeah, this sounds really bad. Well, it is bad. Well, I've actually, in high school, I actually stole a car before. Yeah, I stole a car. And I'm not saying this to brag or to say, hey guys, I stole a car. I'm just telling you, like, these are some of the bad things that I did while I was growing up before I became a pastor, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, we all go through those different types of stages. And I would say even for me stealing that car, I wasn't even stealing the car for money. I wasn't stealing it to show off. Well, maybe I was showing off. Maybe. But I did it because there was the situation. I did it for revenge. Like someone treated me bad, so I stole their car, drove myself and my friends home, and then we kind of just left it there so that, if the police needed it, they can, take the car away or whatever it is like that, right? So that's kind of what I did do that, right? I did do that in the past. I'm not proud of it, but I do think, I think all of us too really look back at the things that we've done. And I would say that these are all great experiences, good and bad, that shaped us to the place and the person we are right now. And do I regret it? Of course, I would never want, I don't want to steal a car. I'll be like, yeah, if I had that chance again, I wouldn't do it again. But through that, we kind of get to these realizations in life of what or who we really want to be.